Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Please subscribe if you haven't yet already. It's a red button beneath me somewhere, and if you click on that you'll be subscribed to my channel. There's also a white bell next to that, and if you click on that you'll get an alert every time I upload new content. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. That would make me very happy. Today's video is the 11th in a series where I am taking the Rae Morris Makeup Masterclass book, and I'm taking looks from this book and doing them myself based on my own skin color and my own age and skin type and makeup collection. I'm not buying anything specifically for this project, so I'm really trying to just use whatever products I have, adding steps, removing steps, kind of as is applicable. Today I am doing a look called Indian Summer. I'm inserting a picture here. I don't look anything like this model, but I like this look. I'm really enjoying the extra liner without the color. I have been using a lot of color on my lids lately, and this is a nice departure. So if you'd like to see how I got this look, please keep watching. All right, step one. If you're blessed with skin as amazing as Shanina's, don't apply foundation, just apply concealer where you need it. The great thing about this look is that we're only doing liner on her lid, so you can do your foundation either before or after your eye makeup, not worrying about fallout. And Rae's rule, if your skin's perfect, don't cover it. My skin's not perfect. So I'm first gonna go in with some of my MAC Painterly Paint Pot, just to even out the color on my lids a bit. And then, normally I would conceal after, but because I am going to be lining under my eyes, I will do some concealer now and kind of foundation. So what I mean is, I'm going to conceal with my Glossier Stretch Concealer in Light just under my eyes. I have a little bit of discoloration on my face, but it's not terrible. And I think what we're going for with this look is pretty minimal, with the exception of the darkness on the eyes with the liner. Then what I'm going to do is immediately set this with my Kat Von D Lock It Powder. And normally I wouldn't do this quite so immediately, because I'd be planning on using a full foundation or something on my face, and it would kind of come up under my eyes, and you generally don't want to be putting powder on top of a liquid. So instead of using a foundation or a BB cream or a primer or anything, I'm going to use my Milk Makeup Blur Stick. And this I like to use really on days when I'm not using much makeup. It helps to bring down some of the shine, fill in some of the pores. So I'm not trying to really do anything with my color here. I will come in with a powder in the end, but I'm not really trying to do anything to change my complexion at all here. All right, step two. This is the perfect technique to give round eyes more lift. Apply a non-waterproof black pencil to the inner rim of the lower eyes. Make sure you use black as black. If you're confident, you can also line the inner rim of the upper eye as well. That way when your eyes close, you have black touching on black. When you apply eyeliner to just the lower rim, it will fade over time and you need to reapply. I use waterproof. She says to, in her liner section, she says to use a non-waterproof pencil on your waterline. Your waterline is the line on the bottom and your tight line is the one on the top. And she says not to use waterproof because it's a damp area on your face. But that's why I like to use waterproof, because I don't want it to really move around. For this, I'm going to use my ColourPop gel liner in Swerve. I had to look. And brought you out just a little bit. I am going to apply it on my waterline. What I did too is I put some on my hand just to kind of warm it up a little bit, because it can take a little while for this to apply if it's cold, and this is ready to go. I'll speed you through this. All right, not that great at this. At the waterline stuff is always okay for me, but the tight lining is always a little tricky. And I do have a little kind of smudge up there, but it's fine because I'm actually going to put on lashes soon. All right, then step three. She says, when I'm doing a strong eyeliner look, think Priscilla Presley. I always put the eyelashes on first. This is because the eyelashes will change the shape of your eye and contribute to the eyeliner itself, which will therefore change where you apply the actual eyeliner. And she's using a full lash that's feathery. Anything too thick or heavy will cause shadows under the eyes, especially if you wear them outside during the day. So for this, not going to use a full lash. I am going to use a 3/4 length lash. I have one of these Winky Lux. I bought this a while ago when I was being ambitious about using lashes. So this is just a place where you can put your lashes for later use. And I'm going to reuse, I've been using these Eylure number 3 accent lashes, and that's what I'm going to use here. And I have used these in other videos, and the reason that I like these is that the full lashes that generally are sold are a little bit too long for me, and the prospect of cutting them just seems a little bit too intimidating. So I was using half lashes. I've graduated up to 3/4 length lashes, and they're working really well. She's not saying to curl, but I'm curling because I find that if I'm applying a lash and the lash is kind of swooping up, that if I haven't curled my own natural lash, I end up having my natural lash kind of sticking out straight, and then the lash that I've applied with glue, she doesn't call them false lashes, she just calls them lashes. So the lash that I've applied with the glue, as opposed to the lashes that are actually attached to my eyelids, they don't look so great. So curled that. I'm going to let this dry till tacky. I'll speed you through this and through my other eye. I'll see you on the other side. All right, so these are done. Not perfect. I am really practicing putting on lashes. I should be practicing with clear glue maybe. But honestly, practicing with the black glue is, number one, I'm probably always going to be using a black eyeliner over it, but it's kind of nice to see where you've made the mistakes. I know that I generally aim high because I don't want to actually glue them on my lashes. I'm shooting for just above my lashes. So I aim high and then I wiggle down. That's just my general method. So I do have a little bit of smearing here, but that's not a big deal because I'm going to ultimately be using a black gel liner anyway. Moving on to step 4. When you're doing the bottom eyeliner, it's important to keep the line as straight as possible. And I read this a couple times because I was confused about what she was saying. And she doesn't mean a straight, like a straight line. She means as not wiggly. So I'm just going to try to keep this as straight and close to my lash line as possible. Going to use a Real Techniques fine liner brush, which is not normally what I would use for liner, but because I'm using powder, it's a little bit more forgiving. And I'm going to use some MAC Fix Plus. And she says for this step I'm using black eyeshadow with the eyes looking straight ahead. By just adding black shadow to the outer bottom lid, which means, I guess, on the outside of my lid as opposed to on my waterline, you create a straighter line. This technique will give you more eye lift. Refer to the eyeshadow chapter, the eyes chapter, which is I did do. All right, so for this I'm going to use a handheld mirror so I can look at this as straight as possible, and I'm going to use the black color from the Melt Dark Matter palette, but any black. Staying as close to my eyelashes, close to my bottom part of my, and actually I'll insert a picture here because what it looks like she's doing, Rae Morris on this model, is not only putting it under the eye, but actually putting it right up almost against where the lashes are, kind of between the lashes to make it even darker. Speed you through my other eye. And she's bringing it all the way in, so I'm bringing it all the way in. I might go over it again with some gel or with the pencil later. All right, step 5. She says I always start with the bottom eyeliner first and then join the top to the bottom using the edge of a piece of sticky tape. So I've never used this method before. I just have some tape here. Take some of the stickiness out of it by applying it a few times to the skin on your hand to create the line that you want the eyeliner to follow. Using the tape as a stencil, use an eyeliner brush to draw in the eyeliner using a black gel liner. You can redo using black shadow if you're a little nervous about going in straight with gel eyeliner. So I'm fine with this. I've just never used this technique before. So I'm gonna take this, and what I'm gonna try to do is follow the angle of that little wing on my lower lid. And I'm tilting it a little bit lower than normal. And I don't know how this would work if I had foundation on already. What I'm also going to do is apply the second piece of tape on my other lid right now so that they're matched up. There is a woman, I've seen a lot of people use this method, but there's an English lady, English girl, English woman named Amelia Liana, who has used this method for a long time, and it's always kind of confused me. So it's interesting to actually try this method. She uses actually a Post-it, I think, and not a piece of sticky tape. All right, so I'm just gonna I'm using my Inglot AMC number 77 gel liner, and I'm using a Morphe M250S brush. So this is a really fine brush. And I'm going to follow it up this way, and then I will go to the next step. And kind of want to speed you through this because I'm not sure how much I'll be able to talk about it, but I am curious. I will not speed you through at least the first eye because I've just never used this method before. So got my liner on my brush, and the problem is it's hard for me to tell. I guess I can kind of feel it, but it's hard for me to tell if I'm applying it on my lid or if I'm applying it on the tape. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna apply one freehand and the other one like this one with the tape as you see it. So this one I'm just gonna follow this. What I'm doing again is I'm starting at the edge of where the shadow on the bottom lid has let off, and I'm angling it upwards. And I did angle it a little bit lower. This was kind of shooting up a little bit more angled up, so I'm gonna try to follow this a little bit lower. And so that's more of a wing. This is just more of a line. See the difference? That's the one with the tape, and that's the one that I drew. And I'll even it up in the end. Then step 6, using the same brush, now line the top lash line, keeping it as close to the lash line as possible. Then simply join the bottom liner, make sure you're looking straight ahead. This will help you create the shape and angle that you are wanting to achieve. So I'm going to put more product on the brush. I will speed you through this. All right, liner's done. I'm gonna take this off. And that is actually very crisp. This is with the tape, this is without the tape. All right, I see what you did there. It did, if I had had foundation on, I don't think that I took enough of the sticky off on my hand. If I had had foundation on, it probably would have come off. And actually, as I'm looking at the pictures, I am going to bring it all the way in because she brings it all the way in on this model. So I'm going back in with the liner, and never go all the way around, but here I am doing it. And then I'm also gonna, my allergies are getting bad again, I swear. I feel like I'm always talking about my allergies being bad, and I fear that that's just, my allergies are getting worse. So because my allergies are getting worse, I wanted to add some gel in my inner corner because my eyes water sometimes. And even though I used Fix Plus on that shadow, it still probably will go away when my eyes water. Step 7 is to remove the tape and make sure that your lines are even. Use my trick of foundation. So what she does, her trick is to take foundation on a brow defining brush and put it kind of under the liner. It's also what she does if she's trying to even out brows. Speaking of brows, I just reviewed this. There's nothing in here for brows. I'm gonna add brows because I feel like something's really missing here. I'm gonna use my Anastasia Brow Wiz in dark brown. And while I'm applying my brows, I will tell you that what she generally does is, and this is the 11th that I've done, so I think I'm getting pretty familiar with the Rae Morris kind of method, like the way that she likes to do things. And find it more with eyebrows than with eyeliner, but she always talks about if the tail of your brow is not as sharp as you want it to be, that if you go in with an angled brow brush and some foundation, that will make it a lot sharper. I generally use micellar water and then I go back in with foundation. She generally uses brushes for foundation when I'm not thinking about Rae Morris and using things from the book. More often than not, I'm going to be using a sponge, and with a sponge, for me, if I've used micellar water to clean up my eyeliner, it's easy to just go back in with the sponge that I did my foundation with and just clean up like right there by just adding in a little more foundation. But whatever works for you. Yes, there's nothing in here about eyebrows, which is interesting. Step 8 then is to finish with a soft natural lipstick. I'm going to use ColourPop Dopey. I'll speed you through this. For contour, I'm going to use a cream contour. This is the Fenty contour stick, cream contour stick in amber. I'm embracing cream contour. So what I'm going to do is just apply this, and I generally actually do not apply contour or color when I don't have foundation on, because I find that my natural color shines through pretty well when I don't have foundation on. But I'm using a Sephora, it's a foundation brush, but it has kind of a little swoopy there. I went into a Sephora and asked someone to help me with cream contour because I felt very confused. And the nice lady at Sephora in San Francisco and the marketer helped me. And this is a really easy brush. I'm just doing kind of like C strokes up. And I'm doing this just on top of the Milk Blur Stick. So I'm not putting it over a powder. And I'm gonna do my cheek chin a little bit and buff that in. Not gonna do my nose. And then apply a hint of powder to the T-zone, or another application is just to use a non-powdered blotting paper to soften excess shine. I'm gonna use some powder. I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder and a giant brush just to bring this down a little bit. And that is that. Success, I think. It's a lot more liner than I normally do, but I like this a lot. And I like it with the nude lipstick. I like the combo all together. So thank you so much for watching. A lot to do in the world, a lot to do on YouTube, and I really appreciate the time that you took to spend with me today. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.